Hello, it's me, your favorite widow. It has been a while. I'm squinting. Let me grab my glasses, okay? All right, here we go. Much better. So, I wanted to drop in and do a catch up and introduce an idea that I somewhat touched on in a previous video, and actually it was my most watched video, and it's about dating post transition of a spouse. So, with that in mind, because I'm trying to keep it short as possible, and that is, I to catch you all up. Whew, this pandemic, I tell you, um, has been interesting, and I'm sure for everybody it has. I did post a video during a pandemic, and so check it out because I can't even wrap my mind or even my heart around someone not having their spouse, their best friend, their mate, uh, or significant other, just that person that I wouldn't say completes them, but damn sure get close to it. At least for me and my humble opinion. But anyway, to catch you up, I well, first, before I catch you up, just in case you just randomly came across my video, I am a widow. My husband, my best friend, I met and married my best friend. I actually dreamed about him in middle school. Although my husband is not, he wasn't very spiritual, but he was a very good guy, very religious, and some things he can wrap his mind around. So he was like, "Oh, okay, baby," He kind of smiled me off and give me, kiss on the forehead on some thoughts that I had. All right, but um, my husband passed away due to illness, an illness that he was born with, and this was in 2011, January 23rd of 2011. While I was 32, I think between 30 and 32 weeks pregnant with our youngest son, our fourth child. And although my husband had an illness, you can never really prepare yourself for their transition. And that's how it was for us. My husband was in the hospital. He was doing fine. He was at home. He was back at work. Just living life. We were in the process of purchasing a home. Actually, we had already had our closing date. Oh yeah, yeah. Because of course the family was growing. We were busted out our 3-bedroom house at the time. So, and it has been a journey. Read to a point where I've had to rediscover who I am and redefine who I am. It's been a journey of the first few years of my husband transitioning. All right, for my own reasons, I neglected to any type of professional help as far as coping with grief, coping with my emotions, dealing with postpartum depression. Um, because when my husband passed away, they could not keep my blood pressure down, so they had to induce my labor. So I left the hospital without my husband and with my son being transferred to the neonatal ICU, the NICU, and he was there for about a month, like four weeks, I think, or a little less. So that's to catch you up. But real quick, I have in 2018, I had a major health scare, and it was God saying, like, look, at some point you're gonna have to fix this, okay? And I did. And let me also back up. Although I did not receive the counseling and the care that I needed, a very good friend of my family, she's like a sister, but my husband passed away by And within less than 2 weeks, she already had my children signed up for a youth bereavement group here in Atlanta. And I tell you, they are phenomenal. My oldest daughter has aged out the program. I'll tell anybody about Case Club. Wonderful. Get your children there. If not, they are somewhere. All right. So I'm checking off my list so I can stay within my time frame. So that's to kind of get you caught up. But in the process, I did receive the help that I needed, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm smiling. So that's just to catch you up. Now, if you need to know anything else, you're gonna have to go back and watch the other videos because I'm trying to stay within a time frame. Now, grant you the pandemic. I mean, the events that happened. My brother passed away, transitioned during the pandemic, July 22nd of 2020, not due to complications from the pandemic. And just this past April, a dear family member I've known since I was, I don't know, 6 years old, who, you know, was the deacon in the church and everything, and he passed away due to complication of the pandemic. So, is for me, death has always, for whatever reason, just seems to have this footprint in my life. And I recently decided to go on a 3-day silent retreat. It was offered for during this pandemic, a very limited number. It was a Catholic-based retreat, and I so needed it. I mean, it was adjacent to the Chattahoochee River, the beautiful end of it. Well, it's beautiful either way. And nice wooded area. And I truly got a chance to realign myself with the presence of God in me. All right. And just for I am a very religious person, and I'm a First Baptist, and I'm also a very highly spiritual person. So I balance them both, So I'm a Revanite baby too. So my grandmother used to pin those red prayer cloth pieces in my jacket or like undergarment if I went out of town as a little girl. So just to give you an idea. So the pandemic has been heavy on all of us, and just no way of saying it. So I wanted to address that real quickly, and that is, I've always said, as an individual, we have to place death in its appropriate place for yourself. And I came to this conclusion. I mean, pieces of it was coming to me, but during a retreat, I was able to piece it together. And also during a retreat, every day you had 1 hour, if you needed more, with a spiritual advisor. So with that and really listening and meditating and through prayer and affirmations, God would speak to me in dreams, and just literally I would hear things like I almost missed dinner one time, and somebody said, I kid you not. And I had my own room and everything. It's a nice suite. And it was like, I heard my name. I was like, who in the world is that? So I jumped up because I literally heard it, and I looked over there. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm about to miss dinner. So that's to say that God is real. And that's just a fact. You can call him God, Bob, whatever you want, or Belinda. It doesn't matter. There's a power greater than ourselves, not just up in the sky, but within ourselves. And we just have to realign ourselves with that. And with that being said, I came to this realization for myself that at some point, we have to put death in a same place where we put birth, right? I've had, with the 4 children, I've done natural childbirth, and I've done the epidural. right? You know, somewhat the easy way, really not. Um, and with death, it's like nothing is easy, you know? We don't get that epidural or that natural childbirth type of feeling. And that's for the mothers. That's the analogy that I use. But what the reason I bring that up is at some point we're gonna have to place death because that is just a human experience. And it's just as beautiful as birth. And you know how we celebrate life that is coming and is coming to our lives, right? Baby showers, you know, first birthdays, or when you adopt a child or bring a new, you know, person into your life and into your heart. That's like the most beautiful thing in the world. And you celebrate, we all do, right? And I came to this conclusion that we're going to have to do the same thing when it comes to death. It's not something that we can avoid, you know? It's not. So instead of fighting it, you know, we got to learn how, and that's how it came to me, take the sting out of death. You know, that sting, that about it, like it just, you know, I can't even put a word to it. It just stings, it hurts. Like in your soul, in your heart, you know? And then when that initial sting hits you, it stays there and it vibrates, you know, and it spreads that pain all over, you know? Because I'll tell anybody, when it comes to grief, as within is without. So if you're hurting on the inside, you're hurting outside, your body aches, you feel it physically, is what I mean. So I held on to that thought. And this is just God planting seeds along the way. And I'm just sharing this with you. Not saying that you have to receive any of this. But I tell you what, from my experience, and I'm not saying it's complete, because like I said, God is setting these seeds with me. Just recently, to my point, I was watching T-Mosh Tarot on YouTube. That's because I'm inquisitive, you know. And she's super fabulous. Like, that chick is like double, triple gifted, you know, divinely gifted. So check her out. But she mentioned something I had never heard of. She said a death doula. Yes, DEATH, doula. Now, I've heard of birth doulas, you know, and all that, but not a death doula, right? And I said, I got to look into that, and I will. So I'm just mentioning it now. So in my next video, I will have some information to share, right? But the reason I bring that up is, although death is something that's unavoidable for this realm, for this world, all right? However, we can take the necessary steps to take the sting out of it. You know, that, so when it comes, it's like, I'm gonna miss you. I love you. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times, that just means living a life every day with no regrets, or you try to limit them by telling the people that you care about today, right now, how they positively impact your life. And also telling people today, like, hey, you hurt my feelings. Or maybe I misread what you said, but it hurt. You know, having those conversations so they can open up a space, hopefully, for peace, joy, okay, and closure. So, really, really quick. Also, I want to set a seed of about dating after 10 years, y'all. Yes. And celibacy. Yes. Like I said, when my husband first passed away, I was numb for the first 2 years, literally. I got myself into what did Jada pick up? A situationship. I think it was like year 4. And it wasn't unhealthy, but yet even he knew that I hadn't completely healed, you know? So that quickly unraveled, but it unraveled peacefully, you know what I'm saying? So in 2018, when I had my health scare, I just completely said, you know what? Although I miss the being in a relationship with a loving and kind and respectful human being, adult human being, um, I'm just not ready. And that's when I got counseling. I decided that I was going to, abstain from sex and relationships. So it has been a journey, and the journey has been pretty decent. I haven't had any urges. I kid you not. Like, I was so about being intentional about regaining my joy, realigning myself with who I am and who I am now, making sure that I did not attach any cliches to my situation. For example, someone said, "Oh, so you're single? You're a single parent?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I am, but however, I'm a widow." So I remember someone was like, "Well, which one are you?" I don't know if that was the IRS or what, but I think the IRS was like, "You only get 2 years as a claim widow." And so I had to make that decision. I was like, "No, I'm a widow with children." Nothing wrong with being a single parent, because I've been that too, before I met my husband. So it has just been a ongoing beautiful process. And the bottom line is, you have to be intentional on your joy. Okay? Nowhere around. You got to be intentional on it. All right? And always remember, you get through it. So whatever you're feeling right now, you're definitely going to get through it. Because right now will eventually become tomorrow, and the next day, a month, and a year from now. I love you guys. Peace.